All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. So today we are doing the build refresh on NEZHA for 2022. Obviously, those of you who have seen a bunch of like the more recent like weapon, why would you use this? Have seen a lot of NEZHA, as he is my go-to for them, as he is modern Warframe's Rhino. In the early days of Warframe, and honestly for a large part of Warframe's history, Rhino was the go-to for hit button, don't die, don't care. And NEZHA is the new premium of that. He is one of the best Warframes in the game, and he has a significant amount of advantages. So we are going to be going over them. Now, first and foremost, there are a few different things that you can choose to do with NEZHA. For me personally, this build dumps range and gets rid of NEZHA's 4. None of NEZHA's other abilities need range, so by removing NEZHA's 4 and replacing it with Roar, you are able to do 2 damage buffs that are multiplicative with one another when that's ever necessary. And also, Roar is just a fantastic ability to have for you to focus on being more of a weapons platform that can't die and being super fast, which is what NEZHA does. But the notable synergy that no other frame gets to do is that Blazing Chakram can hit enemies, and in this case make them 200% more damage vulnerable, giving you 3 times damage. And then in addition to that, you and all damage you do is 60% higher. So those two benefits are both after mods, so your final total damage is going to be increased by 60%, and then that new final total damage is going to be tripled on enemies affected by Blazing Chakram. Almost never is that synergy necessary, but it is funny, and Roar is like really like just easy just to spam cast and throw out there just whenever it's off a cooldown, and it's like 76-second duration on this, so it lasts ages, and the 60% is much appreciated, and it is of course like a Bane type increase, so it double dips on certain procs and things like that. So Roar is just amazing, and you should use it. And then, in addition to that, we have Warding Halo. Warding Halo, mechanically, is basically as long as you have Warding Halo on, you cannot die. That does have a few other things that you need, which we're going to go to the build for. So, for Warding Halo, what Warding Halo does is it gives you a numerical shield that gets reduced and reduces damage that you're going to take by 90%. So you are still going to take damage to your shields and or health, but that damage is reduced by 90%. Now, in the Steel Path, just that by itself usually is not enough without like a decent amount of healing. But when combined with Adaptation, which can give you up to 90% damage reduction, that adds together and becomes 99% damage reduction, which is almost always more than you're going to need at any reasonable content people are going to be doing. You'll notice this build is quite expensive, and there's a number of things that you can definitely just drop. First and foremost, growing power, not that important here. It's just that more strength is just always good for what we're doing. Obviously, it's great for Roar, and it's great for Blazing Chakram to do even more hilarious amounts of damage you don't need. So if you don't have growing power, you can replace this with any generically good aura. And then besides that, the only stuff you're really going to need on here are going to be narrow-minded at least rank 8 is what you're going to want, just for the very high duration because it's nice. And then primed flow is what I prefer over efficiency, but choosing efficiency instead is really not a big deal. I like Prime Flow just because I use energy with NEZHA, Energize with NEZHA, because this is just really good for filling up the total energy cap, and I find the comfiness of the build is higher that way. Other stuff, I have a maxed Umbral Intensify and a maxed Umbral Vitality. So we are using this with an unranked Umbral Fiber. Basically, what happens here is that Umbral Fiber is unranked, but it's giving me that 17.5% armor, and it's giving me 220% health and also 22% strength because of how it interacts with the other 2 mods. So we have a very large health reserve if for some reason our shields are down through our Arcane Aegis. So we're not going to have any real likelihood of dying anyway with our 99% damage reduction on top of that. And also, we get a bunch more strength. Now, armor does help NEZHA, not only for making it so that if you are taking damage to your health, you are that much more survivable, because the damage reduction from armor does also apply even beyond that 99% damage reduction, so armor is certainly going to help. However, that would take a second Umbral Forma in order to be able to be used on this. You'd need to put an Umbral Forma in for Umbral Vitality or Umbral Fiber if you wanted to use a maxed version. So I was just the unranked because it is just absolutely unnecessary to do the full like double Umbral Forma investment. If you really love NEZHA, which I can't blame you, then feel free to do what you want. Also worth noting, if you have ranked up Umbral Fiber, you can get an unranked version from Samaris. So if you go grind some Samaris rep, that's why I have this version, and also addition to my maxed one. So if you need just an unranked Umbral Fiber for the purposes of getting the max bonus and getting more health and more strength, or alternatively, it is actually sometimes worth it for some frames if you're trying to make a really cheapo build to have an unranked Vitality and Fiber for a maxed out Umbral Intensify, but that's usually not worth it. Other than that, yeah, we're just stacking a bunch of duration here, and efficiency is kind of replaced with Prime Flow. We are running Maglev. Maglev just enhances NEZHA's usual passive to be even more slidey. I know a number of people don't like that, but if you want to go fast and like maximize the use of what NEZHA has to offer, Maglev I would highly suggest. Also, as for budget builds, we have the budget build for the Prime for NEZHA. This is going to be more than fine for like any content in the game you're usually going to run into. Of note, adaptation never needs to be maxed out. There's no like big need to ever have adaptation maxed out. Even this completely unranked is you're still going to get the full effect. It's just going to stack up slower, so don't feel the need to max this out. And it is very cheap. Also, the budget for the non-Prime, if you're using non-Prime NEZHA, is exactly the same. It fits on Prime and non-Prime. They are identical builds. So no matter what version you have of NEZHA, if you want to do like no investment, both this budget build works on both the Prime and the non-Prime. And it's pretty much as good on both. But the big maxed out version, I would say, is this. So yeah, there's not a lot to talk about with this. Basically, hit 3, hit 4, use your 1 for even more speed, and then you can do butt scoots, which if you don't know what butt scoots are, if you hit the hold to crouch key, whatever you've assigned that to, for me it's left alt, you get a burst of speed due to NEZHA's passive plus Maglev. That Maglev can be used on anything if you really want to get these boosts around, but it is very useful for just kind of going around. It's especially useful, I will say, whenever you're ADS, because you can use it while ADS to kind of like get slides around and maneuver very quickly while being still aimed down sight. So yeah, that is some things about NEZHA. We can kill a big group of dudes. It's not going to be hard, and it's not really going to be much of anything. We can throw this out there, throw or two if we really are feeling it. These enemies have no chance of survival even from like the regular version of this weapon, but all roared up, might as well. Yeah, so yeah, this pretty much works the same way on Steel Path. It's exceedingly effective, and enemies just simply aren't going to be able to kill you. The reason NEZHA's 3 is so good, by the way, is because when this shield does break, you are momentarily invincible, which allows for you to react and put it back on. So always allowing for time to re-up this ability as long as you continue to have energy for that, which Prime Flow basically entirely assures, especially with Energize, then you just cannot die unless enemy levels get to the point where they're killing you by doing like sub 1% of damage to you, which also still has to go through your shield gate and also get through all of the health, and if you have a maxed out Umbral Fiber, all of the damage reduction for your armor on your health as well, which is quite a deep ways into the Steel Path, deeper than I think most people are ever going to go. So yeah, that's NEZHA. We do have a Steel Path run that I did on stream. I will just go ahead and say here, I did kind of just do it as a joke, and I was just eating a sandwich and talking about nonsense while we were doing it, because like those runs with NEZHA are so easy, and I was doing it with a good weapon like the Proboscis Ceranos. So like it is maxed out chill mode, and we talk about a bunch of other stuff, but NEZHA is just generically good. I would say he's probably the most generically good frame in the game right now, right below Wukong. But still not a ton of people are using him based on the usage statistics. I wonder if that will change in the year to come, though. But yeah, that's going to do it. Enjoy the run. I will see you tomorrow. NEZHA run. And like more charts. Oh, no, we're actually doing some stuff now. Yeah, I mean, like, whatever. I don't give a shit what's equipped. I'm NEZHA. Yeah, start the mission. I'm gonna need a sandwich. Whatever. I've already my stream title. That's no good. Let's change now. We do that. Okay, we're good. We're good. Hold on, I got it.
Kuba nearby. Set off the alarms to draw them out, then steal their Kuba catalysts.
It's still fast, but I'm eating a sandwich run. We gotta do a challenge mode for NEZHA because she's so fucking good.
Environmental systems, sending modified life support capsules. Use these to sustain your environment or attach Kuba catalysts to begin harvesting.
Ah, what have I done? Weird. That was super strange. Okay, there we go. I don't know how I ended up in the wall, but I was stuck in the wall. Okay, I've got energy now. No. Hit 3. I did it. How dare you enemies shoot me? You bastards. How dare they interrupt me in my sandwich? Oh, here we go. Perfect optimal positioning. Come into the room, I dare you, idiot.
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
Aim slightly up. I should have put my mouse on the left side of my keyboard, even though I'm right-handed. Roar, just for laugh. How dare you? The sandwich is good. I should have chose like the Ogress. Has a much larger AoE for just like really just killing these guys without me having to do much. I gotta like time my clicks and everything else, man. Really playing suboptimally. Like for anybody who's seen the runs that go into the build refresh videos, a lot of those runs, it's like super unfortunate to be solo and everything, but like, man, or Natteruk the same in the hallway. That's true. Find like a dead end hallway with the Natteruk, that would be pretty good. Those are optimal strategies. Sandwich is delicious. Made ye old buffalo chicken, Swiss cheese, and mayo. With pepper. You love a pepper. I do feel like sometimes I should put more spice on the sandwich, though. Why so much energy? So this build is for ultimate comfort. As in, like, no matter what happens, fuck them. Like, that's the whole purpose of this build. Is fuck them. So, like, if I ever run out of energy, that's not enough fuck them for me. Oh, where'd you go? Enjoy it. There we go. Are you a boneless chicken type of guy? Yeah, I love a boneless chicken. They're just like better chicken nuggets. Bone-in chicken is just like, I don't know. It's just like kind of like just a, it's just enough of a hassle where like it is delicious, but like, is it worth it? You know, not about sandwiches, obviously. I thought this was just a general question. Yeah, no, not asking about the sandwich. No, no, no. Who would do such a thing? If you put bone-in chicken on a sandwich, you're a fucking monster. Please seek help. Yeah, chat, are there any questions I need to answer about NEZHA, or we all just, like, understand that NEZHA is, like, the 2022 version of what Rhino was doing basically on launch in Warframe? Right? Like, we're all aware. What's up, babe? Oh, shit, for real? Is he going somewhere else?
This will help our cause.
Oh, fuck.
When you're ready, go to extraction.
That's wild style. I wish to know where he's going, because I have no reason to do anything with that anymore. Okay, chat, we're just doing the NEZHA run here. Fucking, okay, I don't know who this is for. This might just be me. I listen to podcasts. Fucking Jeff Gerstmann is not at Giant Bomb anymore, for anyone that is relevant for, which is wild news. What bow is that? This is the Proboscis Ceranos. It is very good. Yeah, for something where I would say that Mr. Gerstmann is Giant Bomb, as much as like I like other people that are on that podcast, being signed up with Nextlander. I mean, that's where his a lot of his coworkers or previous coworkers are at that Nextlander thing. If he goes there, then I will, because like those guys, I like them, but I like Jeff more. So if he goes to that, then I will begin listening to whatever their podcast is. Isn't that as big as Kyle Bossman leaving Easy Allies? I don't know who that is or what that is, if I'm honest with you. Same, love that crew, but without Jeff, I'm not into it. Yeah. I just think Jeff is very interesting, even if I disagree with him on certain things. Giant Bomb and Jeff are the old techs? I guess so. Yeah, he is. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I think he's co-founder. That sounds right. I do wonder if this was like, if he goes to Nextlander, I do wonder if it was the plan all along. Because like their company like recently got sold to somebody, and then like a bunch of the crew left to go start that Nextlander thing. I wonder if they had like signed a thing to keep Jeff for an allotted amount of time, like a minimum or something. Super interesting. What's spicy? Here I go. I can read this while doing the NEZHA run. That's where I was leaving your Giant Bomb workers concerning details, only stating that an agreement had been reached between the parties to go our separate ways. Huh. God, I wonder what that even becomes. Or if it becomes anything. Okay, the other people that are on, like the Giant Bombcast, I like them. But I cannot see them pulling the weight of what that podcast has been in the past. Or you know what, any of that. Viacom CBS sold Giant Bomb on Games AimSpot to a digital marketing company, Red Ventures in 2022. Hunter with all, I don't know what we're talking about. That's fair. TLDR, Jeff Gerstmann is like a game reporting. What's that? He's like Bernie from Rooster Teeth, Sarah says. I did not watch Rooster Teeth. Yeah, if that's another reference for you. Okay, there's violence. Let me go on this one. The thing the Proboscis Ceranos is not super great at is killing acolytes. There we go. Griffin is an institution in the game's reporting circuit. There you go. That is the perfect way to put it.
critical life support levels. Extraction is your best option.
Yada yada, Lotus.
Life support activated.
I'm so lost anymore with new game. Lost access to my lookout. The level regear and relearn all Warframe nonsense is a trip. The Brewing Mushroom Gun modded for Corrosive for Acolyte. That's fair. I just like bringing the Latum because it's really good and I can just choose to use that for like this whole run if I really want to.
Look what our Tenno operative just found. They could not do this without you.
Well, I'm glad that NEZHA did the thing that NEZHA does. Which way is the exit? Gotta be this way, right? Or is it under this way? No, gotta be this way. I'll have to ask for, but I hope wherever he ends up, they let him write more. I love his written reviews. That's fair. I always really liked him on the podcast. It was a good time. Ooh. Wrong way.
Tenno,
This is what I get for
extraction
reading
is
chat.
ready.
Yeah, no. NEZHA is purely comfy. You cannot stop NEZHA. What would you say to a cycle of elemental damage mods that don't combine? It'd certainly be interesting. But I can't see them... They'd have to be like raw tools. You'd have to have them at like the same percentages as like normal like 90%. They couldn't be lower or else I don't think it would be a real consideration. It would certainly be interesting though. I think some weapons would opt for like heat plus toxin in some cases. Anyway, that's the NEZHA run.